I have big Tesla bags and synthetic long entry at 291. You always say Tesla is not a car company, but I'm worried it's also not an AI company as it relies on technology from XAI, e.g., Grok in Tesla vehicles. I assume that at best, Tesla will share revenue with XAI. Should we be worried as the revenue might not go to Tesla at all? How do you see this? Great question. I like the way you're thinking, but you have to look at Musk Industries as a whole. So, for example, the Cybertruck bulletproof material was actually engineered by SpaceX and used in Tesla. A lot of the new Roadster comes from a rocket capability from SpaceX. The Boring Company builds tunnels now at the gigafactories for Tesla. So there's synergy across everything else. And Elon isn't about screwing one company with another company. That's not the way it works. But I've never seen so much synergy across a set of companies like this before in my life. It's kind of bonkers. But let's break it down in a couple of different areas because I think about this all the time. Now, Tesla is the most vertically integrated AI company on the planet. When you have, I was making jokes about a paper I wrote this week about Uber partnering with Neuro, partnering with Lucid. I mean, after all their 35 different partnerships, Uber partnerships, just to try and stay alive, it's just a joke. Now, in this world, vertical integration is absolutely key. And there is no company that has the hardware, the cars, the robots. In fact, the car is a robot on wheels. And software, FSD, and model training, Dojo, they make silicon and foundational research, XAI. Okay. Tesla will invest in XAI, so they'll become quasi partners. But they also have the largest amount of real world data. They've been recording traffic stuff for 7-8 years now. And their factory is the product, the machine that makes the machine. Nobody can touch their manufacturing advantage. In fact, the Chinese, who are the most competitive people out there, bow to the capabilities of Tesla. That's the first part. Second, Tesla controls everything. The silicon, Dojo, for AI training. And of course, they have, I think they're only using 10% of the training is done on Dojo. 90% is done using H100s, B200s from NVIDIA. Software, FSD is the most advanced computer vision model deployed in the real world. And remember, every car has an AI chip in it too, capable of real-time inference. And finally, hardware, Optimus and cars, real-world embodied agents. If there is a company that can pull off the biggest TAM, that's the total addressable market in the history of the world, it is this company called Tesla, because they know how to make stuff. And software, this is the funny piece. Software is the easy part. So the brain, which is XAI in Grok, also the brain that's in Teslas, that's considered the hard part, but making the hardware to support it is actually harder than the software. Now, let's talk for a second about what we mean by this synergy. This is very, very important. XAI does add the LLM and reasoning capabilities to an already strong vision stack. Remember, XAI only began 2 years ago, and Tesla will invest in the XAI, and that'll be an AI powerhouse. But combining this, the synergy of FSD and Optimus, real-time Twitter data, XAI talent pool, I mean, the feedback loop is out of control. And I'm not the only one to notice this too. And there is nothing. The TAM I mentioned before, there's nothing bigger than humanoids. Ask Jensen Huang. Look at a company called Figure in China. They're on track to make 700,000 to 1 million robots this year. The robots are here and they're scaling very fast. The question is, who can make the best robot that lasts the longest with the best brain? And everybody thinks that is Tesla, okay? This is AI embodiment. This will be huge and everybody will want one. Everybody that can get their hands on one. And his bet is basically physical AI in cars and robots meet AI. That should be decision engines, not precision engines. Sorry about that. And that will generate a ton of economic value. But ignore me. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But these fellows here, I think his top left is Kevin. We have Jason in the middle, Shamath on the right, and then Dave Freeberg on the bottom, and David Sachs at the bottom. David Sachs is the AI and crypto czar. The most important position, probably, I believe, in the whole U.S. government administration is his position, and it's not a coincidence he's there. But if you look at their choices, okay, this is a series of their choices of who will win the superintelligence AGI, AI, ASI, whatever you want to call it, world. They all pretty much had Tesla on their bingo card. Either number two, Kevin at number two, Jason number one, Tesla, Shamath number one, Tesla, David, we used to work at Google, so he had Tesla number two, and Sachs number one, Tesla. Follow the smart people. They believe the leader will be Tesla, and the synergy is clear. Okay, so everybody needs to get a piece of this. So very important.